Hi, my name is Moses and I'm staying at home. Quarantine continues in many countries all over the world. The streets are really empty. Offices, schools, theaters, shopping centers, dance studios, gyms are closed. I wonder what people from different countries are doing while sitting in self-isolation. Maybe they work hard, read a lot of books, training, or watching movies, series all day and eat pizza. Today we have 3 wonderful guests from Italy. They will tell us how they spend time on self-isolation and how they try to keep their spirits up. This is a special issue of СИДИ ДОМа Stay-at-Home podcast. And don't forget to subscribe, to put 5 stars and to comment the podcast. Let's go. Our first guest is Maria Gallo. She's a theater actress and performer. Let's listen to her thoughts.
So I think I got the news that I had to stay home and be isolated kind of okay. I came out of a very stressful period. I had done many jobs in January and February. I worked in the theater and I was doing some shows. I was also doing, I was really stressed out by the other job that I do in order to pay rent. So I really had no time for myself and I was kind of fine at first that I had to be home and relax. Also because I had some savings from these jobs. So it's kind of weird to me that I'm not working at all, basically, right now, because of the nature of all my jobs that are all in the theater and are about like dealing with people face to face. So of course I can't do all my jobs anymore. But the thing that happened to me is that basically I met the person that is now my boyfriend just before the virus spread here in Italy. So basically this really helped me to get the news very well because that allowed me to have time for him. So I managed to switch to this new regime in a way that was not as hard as I would have thought because of this special condition that happened to me. So basically the fact that I met my boyfriend just before the quarantine started. So definitely this made it not hard at all to start the quarantine. But if I think about my life before it, it's completely different because what happened is that I decided to move in with this person for a while right now. And it's super weird to me if I think about the fact that I didn't know this person 2 months ago and that my life was completely different. So something that I haven't done for a long time, I would say this, like living with someone, having a boyfriend. I had actually never had a boyfriend before. I had like some stories with random people, but never true relationships. So I would say that this could be the thing that I am doing now and that I wanted to do for a long time, but didn't have, enough time. That could be one way of looking at the thing, but never the chance, I would say. I'm also doing other things that I didn't have time to do before, like painting, reading some books, or studying for other things, or applying for some auditions. And because I'm an actress, or also studying a new language, but these are minor things compared to living with this person that I met 2 months ago. So yeah, these circumstances pushed me to do something that I was afraid of put off to do and turned out to be not so bad, definitely. I think that I would say living with someone, because seriously, I was not searching for a relationship in this moment and I didn't think, I would say I'm a really cautious person, so I would never live for 15 days with someone that I just met. But yeah, because of the quarantine, I had to do it. I decided to do it very willingly and I'm very happy that happened and I'm really glad about it. Because actually, I don't know, it's super nice to actually have the time. It's been very, very nice. And this is definitely something that I would usually be afraid of doing. And the situation kind of pushed me to do. I still not have many ideas for adapting my activities from home because of the nature of my job. I work in the theater and how can I do that from home? How can I work in the theater from home? So because I have no job right now and also I am applying for government fundings that I'm not receiving so far. So even though I'm fine for now because I have some savings left, sometimes what freaks me out is the fact that I don't know how long this quarantine will be. So I need to find a job. I'm applying for jobs and I'm not getting them. And this is kind of worrying me sometimes because I'm like, what will I do when I will finish the money? Also because I really don't know when theaters are going to open again. So I really don't have many ideas on how to adapt my activities from home because my activities are all involving being out and being in contact with people, and I've tried to do some works from cameras, but some ideas were interesting. For example, I have a collaboration with a photographer and we kind of did like a photo shoot through cell phones during a video chat. The photographer was taking pictures from their phone with their professional camera to me. It was kind of a weird thing, like a quarantine photo shoot, but that was interesting. But at the same time, I'm still like looking for ways of adapting the things that I usually do from home. I'm actually changing my hobbies in general. Definitely the advantages for me are the fact that I can stay still for the first time in my life. I've always been a person that works a lot, that does a lot, that has a lot of engagements all the time. I am out very late, almost every night. So it's the first time in my life where I can actually rest, stay home, and this is fine. At first I was full of sense of guilt at the beginning of this quarantine, and now I'm getting more relaxed and I feel that my body is definitely resting much more. I'm kind of afraid this will make me weak in the end, but I think this is just a worrying that has no proper fun, it's just fear. It's not ground-based. The disadvantages of this format is definitely the fact that I don't know what the fuck to do with my job-relating life. Yes, definitely I have more time now, but what it's actually weird to me is that I'm resting a lot and therefore I'm kind of less productive. Yes, everything has changed in my everyday life. Everything. 2 months ago, I was living with some girls in Milan. I was doing multiple jobs, working. Well, I actually went to another apartment at the beginning of March, where I was supposed to live alone. But then, of course, because of the quarantine, I actually moved at my boyfriend's place. So now I'm living here, and I don't know. This is completely new, completely different, completely weird. So my ideas to facilitate the process are, I think it's very useful to maintain a routine, not to wake up too late and always clean myself in the morning, change, not to be in my pajamas all day long. Try to do some work when I can't do much. Try to do a little bit, little by little, exercise for 15 minutes every day, and maybe try to have some activities that make every day different from another. So do one thing that I can do only on Monday, but also keep the weekends completely off. And this helps me to have the days kind of different from one another, and that becomes useful for my mental health. Also, never get attached to my feelings. When I am sad, always remember that it's gonna be for the day maybe, and tomorrow I'm feeling better, and try to keep a balance and not to be determined by how I am feeling, not to judge how I am feeling. It's very helpful for me. What I wish is that we will all learn to listen to the others, to listen to ourselves, to listen to what surrounds us, and be more careful, to care more about us and the others and everything. And I think that self-isolation and stopping is a good way of finding out how to listen.
Thanks, Maria. It was really interesting. Yes, it's true. For someone, self-isolation is a good chance to take a break, to build relationships with their partner. Maybe if weren't for self-isolation, some couples wouldn't start living together. But the financial issue and the issue of work are the serious problem in many countries. Now let's move on to our next guest, Roberta Maglie. She's studying publishing industry and she has a radio program in the university.
Unfortunately, I can't do the job I was doing remotely, but it was just an occasional job. I'm a currently student, so I have to attend the lessons remotely in my place, at my home. And being isolated, of course. It's a bit sad because attending the lessons at the university is my favorite thing of being a student. Anyway, I try to stay positive. At the beginning, switching to the new regime was quite hard. I think it was not going to the university, not enjoying the spring, not hanging out with friends, and not working anymore. My first thought went to those people who were dying around me and thinking I am incredibly lucky to be in health. Staying at home for such a long time means finally reading all those books I couldn't read before, such as comics and graphic novels. I can also have more time for cooking a lot of good things, but the most important thing is that I could finally start writing my thesis. And going back to the cooking topic, I never had time before to do it, and I didn't realize I'm not so bad at it. I also started writing in HTML and CSS code because I had to study it for an exam. I like it, It's the base of the informatic language, and I think I'm good at it. For example, I'm creating a funny website of recipes. Being in quarantine could be positive if you look at it with a positive point of view. I spend less money, for example, I drink less alcohol. I enjoy my cohabitation with my brother and I focus on my study. But on the other hand, there are a lot of disadvantages. I can't hang out with my friends. I can meet my boyfriend who lives in Japan soon. I can go out for a walk and enjoy the good weather. Everything was so natural before this weird period. In this period, I feel like I have more time. I don't know if it's just my impression, maybe. But for sure, time flies away anyway, because I'm doing a lot of things. In the end, I wish everyone to stay safe, stay at home, and being positive. It's a bad situation, and it's important to admit it, I think, but it's more important staying focused on what life can give you after this kind of limbo.
Roberta, perhaps with your answer you inspired other people finally start learning something new. Thank you. But I'm afraid not all students are also upset that they can go to university and sit at lectures. It's interesting what our listeners think about this. Isabella Gavazzi will complete today's release. She works in the theater and she also has a bachelor's degree in musicology.
Well, in the first moment, I was scared because it's not easy working remotely. Fortunately, I have my laptop and the society when I work give me tools to do my work, like Excel or Word. It's not easy because we work in a team in my society and Skype calls are very messy. And for me, I have bad connection in my house. My internet is not so good. After some days, I was able to do work at home. For me, it's hard, especially maintain the focus when I'm home alone. But I think it's common. When I sit down, I think that I have to cook like a cake. I don't know, every time. And I'm like a child. But I think it's common. Free. I think this is the best part of the quarantine. I can do everything and everything I want and when I want. Yes, I'm working, but I have more time than before. And different personal schedule. For example, I like writing in the evening and now I can go to the bed late than before because I have not to go to the office in early morning, and this is a super, super beautiful part of this quarantine. Yes, I have some projects and some are very exciting, others a little bit boring, but it's normal. It's different day by day. I try to do something every day, not for a long time, and if I don't like my work, I retry after or the day after. Yes, I have some ideas, but it's not easy because some projects need contact with people, and with Skype it's not the same, especially because I have not so many gigabytes for my internet and my Skype calls are like half an hour. Beautiful. The advantages of the quarantine for me are more time for my passion, better lifestyle, healthier food, no stress, and especially the best part, no public transport because I live on the bus usually. The most important disadvantage for me is isolation. Now I live with my sister, but no friends, no family, no social activities, no free air. Really not free air because there are lockdown. And it's okay if the situation will change soon. Of course, I have more time than before. Usually I spend 2 hours a day in a bus and 9 hours at work. Now I feel like a teenager. I can see the sun. I haven't seen the sun since November, and I really love the light, the day. The biggest part that I changed was my daily routine. Usually I stayed outside for all day and I returned home only for sleeping. Now I go outside once a week at the grocery store. I restart playing my banjo and drawing with the watercolor. I can see many films and read all books that I bought for years, and I bought 100 books, and I think it's time to read every single book. I wish that all people stay safe at home. We will stay together soon and it will be super funny when we can go outside. And that's all, folks. Enjoy. Bye bye.
Isabella, thank you for your positive way of life. And I want to say that you're not the only one with internet problems. This problem is very common with us. I hope all your projects will be successful. And about books, I have the same situation. I always bought a lot of books at book fairs, but there was no time to read. In the end, I would like to wish Italy to stay strong. Though our 3 guests showed that the Italians don't despair and keep their spirits up, great example to be followed. This is Moses and SEEDEE DOMA Stay at Home podcast. See you next special issue.